the future is looking interesting. You've got Hyenas coming up. Obviously Saw 6, which looks set to put Hoffman into another stage of his career.
Yeah.
Can you tell us anything about it?
Well, I can't say anything about Hyenas because I'm not sure exactly what's going on with it.
Okay.
That was a little film that a bunch of people got together and wanted to just help each other out to do.
Yeah.
I hate commenting on stuff that I haven't seen or I'm not sure where they're at.
Yeah.
But as far as Saw 6, the producers and the overall creators of 3, 4, 5, and 6 are over the moon, and I think that they've topped themselves in a way where they've gotten as close to being excited as they were for 1.
Right.
So I know one thing, it's going to be quality. I get to do a lot of stuff, show a little versatility, and apparently it's going to be pretty exciting for people that are diehard fans, and maybe bring in some new ones.
One of the interesting things during the research is that Tobin himself, as an actor, and his approach to it isn't that different from this character who's just committed.
Yeah.
Now, is it true that he was ringing you up?
Yeah.
In the middle of the night?
Yeah. Eventually, I guess I think it wasn't during 4. I think it was more with 5 because we had some pretty big scenes together. I'd get these calls late at night, and it'd be like, it's Tobin, come to my room. I'm like, Jigsaw's either kinky or he's got an idea. But I went to visit him, and the thing about him is that he's the face of the franchise, and I've become his student, let's say, in loose terms. But he really cares, and he told me one thing. He goes, I'm not letting them down. They gave me a chance, and especially the fans. So I sort of jumped on his thought process, and even though I'm a bit more of a prankster than he is, and I have made him laugh, believe it or not, off screen, he's got a great work ethic, and I just figured in the beginning that I didn't want to get in its way, and then when I became more involved, I wanted to make sure that I added something to it. So far, so good.
Is there something that you really want to do? Is there a passion project that you've had, that you've worked perhaps with your brother, that you want to get out there in Hollywood?
Well, there's definitely something that I'm working on, and I've just signed a few pieces of paper that could mean everything and could mean nothing, because sometimes projects take a while to get off the ground. But my friend did 10 years of research with the Russian police and the Russian mob in Russia. And the title is Crime Czars, which is a great title, and he's done everything to develop characters that get out of a Siberian prison, end up in New York, and a lot of the stuff is documented and true. We're trying to get that off the ground, but also I narrowly missed out around the time of Beowulf on the 300, and being a Greek, I wanted to play a Spartan, and I really got close, and then Beowulf came first, and you don't want to turn down Zemeckis. And my good friend Gerard Butler was there. I wanted to go and play with him, but something along those lines. I think there's some things coming up, and I really want to fight to do a bunch of, you want to try and be funny in a movie. You want to try and do a war epic, a la Spartans or something else, and develop some of your own stuff. So I'm starting to think more along those lines, because you don't always get your chances, and sometimes you do, and you're busy on something else. You never know how it's going to work.
Being in some films that you probably look back on and think, what the hell was I thinking? Or more realistically, what the hell was the director thinking?
Yeah.
Obviously, everything adds something to you, but are there movies that you look back on now that you kind of can look at with laughter and share the joy of the badness?
Yeah, the bottom line, there's certain career moves that are great. There's certain that are not great. But I know some wonderful actors and some successful actors, or both, who have done some pretty crappy movies, who didn't get on well with the director. I've got my fair share of those, but I put them back. I just put them in the learning, circle, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, with no help, with little help, or no chance for the movie to be good, I always try not to be crappy. And hopefully, it sort of worked out that way. It's sort of like, like boxers, they fight in smoke houses. They might have a few tough fights where they don't look so good, then all of a sudden they get to shine in the arena with a better trainer, like a director, better actors or more seasoned actors, and then you say, oh shit, he's been around for overnight success kind of thing. Yeah. So look, I'm just looking for shots to be in quality stuff. So is quality for what it is.
Yeah.
There's some other little things that I've done lately which I'm proud of. If they put them together properly, you never know what's going to happen. But you know what? I'll talk in fighting terms. I want a couple of title shots. And if I fail, I'll fail. I'll be responsible for it. But I don't think I will.
Okay. Now, do you ever get out and watch movies?
Not as much as I used to, but if something's really special, I've got some friends, in the films, I'll make a special effort.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's your life. I mean, obviously you're a committed actor, but it's not all about movies and Hollywood. You're doing other things.
Well, it's not about Hollywood, because Hollywood's kind of starting to get on my nerves a little bit with reality TV and the fact that you care about where Britney Spears is shopping and, the silly things that, I guess most Aussies probably do laugh at. I have no interest in that. I have a lot of friends that are not actors. I have a couple of people that want to be actors or are and won't do anything but talk about that, and I tend to leave the table. I'd rather talk about, a little bit of history, who won the fight, NFL football, stuff that breaks you away from that. There's a very famous soccer player called Paolo Maldini who played in like 4 World Cups, 20 years, and he does not talk football. He'd rather listen to rock music, So
now, speaking of football, though, and football as it's known in the real world, Hollywood United is a team that's bandied around sometimes with your name. Do you actually ever get on the pitch, and is Anthony LaPaglia rubbish?
Anthony LaPaglia is actually a dedicated goalkeeper. I have scored against him many times. And the only thing is, the last year and a half, I've been traveling a lot, and I hurt my back, so I couldn't run around for a while. But I'm getting better now, and I'm going to visit the boys again. But he's great for that team. He takes care of it. We have ex-World Cup stars. People like Jason Statham and Vinnie Jones and Anthony and a few other people come, and we do charity events. So it's sort of where everybody drops the Hollywood facade, if they have it at all, and just get down and sweat with the boys and have a laugh.
Right.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to get away.
So it's a genuine process.
It's a Hollywood. It's called Hollywood United, but it's a bull-busting bunch of thugs, and I'm one of the main thugs. Guarantee you that.
Well, there'll be a few locals down in Melbourne who'll be happy to hear you say that.
Yeah. You got to keep the tradition.
Yeah, exactly. It hasn't changed a bit ever since you punched me in the back of the head when we were going for that penalty.
Did I get sent off? I escaped that one.
Yeah.
I'm getting pickier in my old age with many things, and you know what? I don't have much time to fool around. I want to make sure I catch up with all the boys that have done well. Not that I've done terribly, but I think I owe myself just a little bit more, because I didn't care for a little while. Now I care a great lot, and I feel very privileged to have the shots.
Okay, cool. So when you weren't caring, what the hell was going on? I mean,
well, that's where life kicks in. A divorce, things happen family-wise, things like that, and it's not like I didn't care, but I just lost my enthusiasm for a while.
Yeah.
And sometimes in that painful, bad place, you can do some pretty good work.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, I've got to do this movie and become a star. You just sort of go, you work things out. I mean, it's happened to everybody, from Anthony Hopkins to you name him, I admire people like a Hugh Jackman, who has a family and does well. He hasn't lost his enthusiasm. I admire people like Ewan McGregor, who don't have to be in the light all the time, what do you call it, the limelight. Daniel Day-Lewis, who disappears and makes shoes and picks things when he wants. There's certain characters that I'd say that's cool, but when somebody's thrown into the thing all the time and they're not making great quality stuff, even though it's supposed to be, that makes me feel like I just get a little cynical with that, But otherwise, I'm alive and kicking, and I've still got the enthusiasm, but now I'm just starting to get a little pickier with stuff.
Yeah. Congratulations for keeping it together.
Thanks for being so thorough.
And thanks for spending a little time with us. Now, if I can ask you, if you could recommend a sci-fi movie, not your favourite sci-fi of all time, but just what's a good sci-fi movie?
You mean for the channel, or what's been played on the channel?
For anybody.
Well, let's face it, even poor Ridley Scott, they tore him apart when he did Blade Runner. Blade Runner's magnificent, should be watched by everybody. It stands the test of time. And they never gave him the credit for what he deserved at the time. And he's done all right.
Yeah.
So everybody's got a shot.
Okay.